But
Yeah, that's true.
but those are pretty much the basic arguments. You could go super deep, but we don't need to.
Yeah, that's true.
So you said you wanted to react to some YouTube videos, or
yeah,
you wanted to react to something.
So, I mean, I gathered a bunch of videos that we might be interested in going over. Some of them are longer, some of them are shorter. I don't know, like, what kind you want to react to. I've found, like, a few 15-minute videos. I have one video, which is an entire debate that we don't have to do today, but at some point, I think it'd be interesting if we went over Andrew Wilson and Dave Smith's debate. I think it would be a fantastic discussion.
Yeah. How long is that debate?
That's a long one. That's like 2 hours.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Like I said before, we don't have to do it today.
We should schedule that.
Yeah, we could schedule that.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be fun to do.
Because I am interested in. Because I'm not gonna lie, I listened to the first. Because I'm not very familiar with Dave Smith. I wasn't very aware of him. I learned libertarianism from like John Stossel, Thomas Sowell, Milton Friedman, those guys.
Same. John Stossel.
I love John Stossel.
Dude,
I love that guy.
love
He
him.
introduced me to it, libertarianism. I didn't know anything. I was a normal, I guess, Republican, guy, MAGA supporter, and then I ran into libertarianism. And the thing was, I've always held the belief that I think that drugs should be legal and, prostitution and like anything that doesn't violate another person's consent. I've always supported that. But I never had a word for it. But because I was more on the right, I supported the Republicans. But when I learned about libertarianism, like I put a word to it. I was like, yeah, I'm not really a Republican. I'm a libertarian. You know what I mean?
Yes. Dude, I used to like run around the house playing as a kid, like having John Stossel in the news segments in the background. Like, I don't know what he was on, like Fox News or whatever.
Yes.
Back
Fox
in the
Business.
day, man, that was hilarious. And then I only realized how based he was when I got older.
Yes.
But that's funny.
He had like hour-long videos. I guess documentary news things. It was pretty good. I love this shit, bro. It's great.
Yes.
So yeah,
Okay.
when I watched that debate, I almost lost my thought
because
I love John Stossel so much. But I watched that debate. I was very disappointed. I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched maybe like 15 minutes of it because I was just, when he started making his justifications for self-ownership, I was very disappointed. I was very, very disappointed because he didn't have a good understanding of self-ownership. And it seemed like Andrew had a better understanding of his own ideology than he did. It was very sad to me,
No,
so
I agree. It freaking got me grinding my teeth because I was like, oh damn, like exactly, because he got Dave Smith right at the point he didn't know, which is he brought it into philosophy, which Dave Smith is an incredible historian. He's an incredible political analyst. He knows like current events. He's great at that stuff. But the one thing he doesn't understand is like morality, like the discussion of morality. And I think Wilson definitely studied up on like the meta ethics of the NAP and like the foundation. Yes. And he attacked the foundation of the NAP.
It seemed like he knew it more than him.
Than Dave did, yeah.
Yeah, and it was disappointing because I was just like, this guy is supposed to be like, I don't know. I hear so many good things about Dave Smith. I'd be like, oh my God, Dave Smith, he's libertarian. You ever heard of him?
He's one of our biggest representatives right now.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, I watch him and I'm like, this guy, I was like, John Stossel, we should put John Stossel on this guy's. Like, I would rather listen to him, But I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know how much John Stossel knows about morality, but that would be an interesting discussion.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Put Zulu in there.
Yeah, Zulu. Dude, I want to see Zulu debate Destiny.
Yes, that's what I said. I brought that up to him, but I got to figure out how to do that.
I think that Zulu is Destiny's weakness, because the thing about Destiny is he is so much faster than every single person he debates, and that's why he's around. He can run circles around everyone he debates.
He's a skilled debater.
He's extremely skilled.
I don't agree with everything that Destiny says, but the dude is an extremely skilled debater. I watch him just to study how he debates. And Liquid Zulu was the only person that I've ever watched that was a libertarian that I could actually be like, wow, this guy could debate Destiny and actually hold up to him. You know, the only other person that I thought could debate him was like Actual Justice Warrior. But then I saw him debate him and I was like, wow, that the second time that he debated him, I was really disappointed with how he did in that. And then when I started watching Liquid Zulu, I was like, yes, I would like to actually watch Liquid Zulu debate Destiny, or Vosh, or all the other big, like,
leftist streamers
guys. Yes, the big leftist debaters. Yeah, that would be really cool because he knows his shit, at least more than I do.
I'm surprised you know Actual Justice Warrior. I love that guy.
I do. Yeah, Actual Justice Warrior. I became aware of him around the Black Lives Matter riots situation. When the guy had the thing on his, what was it, Derek Chauvin, some situation, I forgot the
name. Yeah. Yep.
And he was making videos about that, and then I became aware of him, and then I really liked him because he was a libertarian, and he also, what I thought was cool about him was he was like, he's not a lawyer, but he has a degree in law or something like that, a criminal justice.
Yeah, I think it's like criminal justice or criminology.
Yeah, so he would like go super deep into the laws and stuff like that and explain the law and stuff like that in a very easy and concise way to explain it. And he would give also a libertarian perspective on everything, which I really liked about him. Yeah, I love that guy. He's great. And I met him in Discord, like maybe like once or twice in his Discord.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's a very nice guy. He's a really cool guy in person. Well, not in person, but in Discord, whatever.
In Discord.
Yeah.
But I think Zulu would, I think the reason Zulu is Destiny's weakness is because he has this ability to bring people to his level, which is like he has this iron wall of logic that people just can't get past. And it's one of the reasons that people hate him so much is because he's so strict in his use of logic and consistent law that certain people just can't break through that wall and they can't get around it. And Destiny is one of those people that no matter how many points he puts out, Liquid Zulu will slowly and systematically go through the points and he will ask for the justifications, which Destiny won't be able to provide.
Yeah, because when it comes to Zulu, he understands the fundamentals of libertarian ethics. Like, I mean, he made a course on it. The dude he knows it like the back of his hand. So it's not going to be the same when he debates other libertarians where they're just popular more because of their personality versus their actual knowledge. Do you know what I mean? Or they're popular for another reason, for like, so that's why I think Liquid Zulu is definitely becoming more popular now because people are seeing him and they're being like, wow, this guy actually knows his shit. This guy has written a whole course on it. He's read all of the books on it. He knows every answer and he's a good debater. So standing up to Destiny, he's a good debater, but I don't think he understands the fundamentals as well as Liquid Zulu does.
Yes. Yeah. I was surprised because I followed Destiny for a while. I don't know exactly when I started following him, but I always knew him as like the leftist debate bro. And I never followed him. I would always see other people like debate him, people that I followed debate him. And I started following him just because I was curious. And he's got genuinely entertaining content. Like he's involved in a bunch of drama. He's a great debater.
I like him.
He is a defender of capitalism. But it's just, I hate so much. The people I hate the most. Sorry, not hate. That's a bad word. The people that it makes me cringe. It makes me cringe when we have the people who defend capitalism. Like they defend capitalism from socialists and communists, but at the same flip of the coin, they also fight libertarians because they say that capitalism is good, but only some capitalism. But they don't even know why capitalism is good. They don't understand the economic knowledge problem. They don't understand that. And it's really annoying because, Destiny defends capitalism, but then he turns around and when he, debates right people, he says that, oh, well, only some amount of capitalism is good, but he can't draw the line where that is because he doesn't know.
He could never do it because he's what they would say like a utilitarian. where it's just like, he would say, oh, well, I support this regulation because I think the utility outweighs the harm, and this and this and that. But again, that's a broken windows fallacy. You never really know what good could have come out from not having that regulation if you didn't put it in place in the first place. So, for instance, like if you break a person's window and then you make them pay for something, that person could have used that money for something else, but now they have to pay for the window. But before, they could have had the window and the suit or whatever they were going to pay for. And that kind of applies to a bunch of regulation, that cost was imposed upon that business that would have been spent on other things, like maybe raising their salary or something else, but that they no longer have because it's basically taken away from them through regulation. They now have to spend it on something that they wouldn't have spent it on it otherwise. So they no longer have the good that they want, plus the thing, they lost their money and they have something that they don't want.
That makes Absolutely. Sense. No, that makes sense.
Schizoid just recently made a video on that, and man, he made a great explanation for that.
Wait, Schizoid, is that another libertarian?
He's a snake tuber. He's the Schizoid man. He makes really good videos, really like cartoon videos. Not cartoon videos, but like illustration videos with little cartoons on it. And it's really good. He's great. And I've debated with him too.
Nice. Wait, what position does he hold?
Oh, he's an anarcho-capitalist.
Oh, wait, what did you guys debate?
Oh, we debated anarcho-capitalism versus liberalism. Yeah, that'll be in the live
liberal?
section of my. No, we were debating together.
You guys did a 2v2 debate. Okay. Wow, that's pretty cool.
We debated together. It was pretty fun. We kicked their ass. But
that's awesome. Okay. So if you want, I can get a video started and then we can start watching it and then react to it. So
I can't wait.
Yeah. All right. I will. Oh no. All right. I'm gonna start streaming on Discord. I can do that, right? Yeah, I can. Share screen. Oh, hold on. There we go. Tell me if everything looks fine.
Yeah, looks good.
All right, I've got a couple videos here, as you can see.
Okay.
I kind of want to do a more engaging one, like the Majority Report. Have you ever heard of the Majority Report?
Yes, I do know that guy, Sam Seder, that doofus.
Yeah, that doofus, pretty much. Yes. So
well, we can watch whatever you want, and I'll give my opinions on it.
Dope. Yeah. So I basically skimmed a few of these videos, and then I just found ones that I thought we could have really good discussions on. So I saw some of Sam Seder's videos. So let's just do this first one. And
this is going to be a tough fight, and we are all.
Oh man, by the way,
we must defend
our
YouTube. Yeah,
I have everything free, dude. By the way, I've been freaking spammed Kamala Harris ads. Like I've had like 15 in the last 2 days.
Dude, that's weird. Oh well, they're probably they're gonna be spamming the YouTube so they could get more people to try to vote for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but it's just like I don't know. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying.
All right,
that's why I have I remove the ads.
YouTube Red, yeah, dude, I'm a leech. I do everything free.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. All right.
This is Max. I'm calling in from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Max from Minneapolis, Minnesota. What's on your mind, Max?
Well, a lot of things right now, actually. I think I emailed you guys the other night. I was asking about whether or not you guys still did the whole debate, what was it, libertarian anarcho-capitalist thing.
Sure. So what do you got?
Whatever you got to throw
First
at me.
Amender kind of talks like this guy.
Why I'm an
Dude, the reason Sam's... Yes, no, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is?
Yeah, really?
And First Amendment's going to watch this video, and that's okay. He's going to see this. This is a condescending attitude. Look, when he heard the word anarcho-capitalism, he started smirking immediately.
Yeah.
In the most condescending way possible.
That's why I call him a doofus, because he's just he acts like he knows everything, but the dude's just an actor. Like, what the fuck does this guy know? I don't know. Continue.
Yeah, no, it's hilarious because that's a great way to start a debate, by being condescending of somebody's position. It's just hilarious, dude.
Yeah, he's ready to laugh at this guy.
Exactly, like you can see him, and then that's why I knew we'd talk about this guy.
ANCAP.
Exactly, he's like 2 seconds in, he's like, "Oh, one of these guys." Fucking hilarious.
Capitalist.
Right,
why I think this is a good ideology. Why I like it so much.
Okay, can I just say before you start, you cannot have both of our words at once. You have to choose one. Either you're going to take anarchist or libertarian from us, from the far left, I mean.
No, you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. You can explain to us now. All right, so okay. So
wait, I didn't know that libertarianism is a left-leaning ideology.
So fucking stupid. Socialist, what did they call them? Social libertarians, libertarian socialists. That's it.
Yeah, I feel like that's a contradiction. That's like saying
it is a contradiction.
It's like voluntary rape. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't make any sense. And the reason why it doesn't make sense to me, because I like Hoppe's definition of socialism, which is the institutionalized violation of private property rights, and it always boils down to so when it comes to socialists, whenever you talk into a socialist, they believe in government regulation over the economy or some sort of violation of property rights within the economy, or extraction or redistribution. Now, when you're talking to a socialist, it's really the degree to which they, how much of a socialist they are. They could either be full tanky or they could just be like a sock dem. You know what I mean? So to me, to say you're a libertarian is a person that believes firmly in the non-aggression principle and believes in self-ownership and all those things. So to say that you're a socialist and also a libertarian, like it's a contradiction. It doesn't make any sense. It's like saying voluntary rape or voluntary taxes or voluntary slavery. It doesn't make sense. But continue.
Exactly. And also the thing is, like, I think the definition of anarchy is like you're against hierarchies, right?
Well, no unjust hierarchies.
Unjust hierarchies.
Yeah, because it's impossible to live in a world with no hierarchies. As there's always going to be somebody that's going to have hierarchies, a hierarchy over another person or whatever. The issue is the unjust hierarchies, that we're against. And we consider the state to be an unjust hierarchy because they violate consent. They violate property rights.
And my point would be if a leftist anarchists define the word anarchism as being against hierarchies, I would make the point you made just now, that if that was real, then the word would be meaningless because it's impossible to not have hierarchies. So the only just use of the word anarchism would be against unjust hierarchy, because that is a unique situation where a word can be used. So therefore, the definition of anarchism should be against unjust hierarchies. And that's where I fall into, that's what I claim the word to mean. And that's why I claim to be an anarchist, because I'm against unjust hierarchies.
Yeah, if somebody believed in no hierarchies, no one would ever be allowed to use their body. Everybody would just lay flat on the floor and never move.
It's impossible. A hierarchy is basically like a law of nature. Like if you didn't have hierarchies, like it's hard to imagine what that would look like. Almost as if it would be hard to imagine what A doesn't equal A would look like.
Absolutely.
You can't. It's hard to imagine.
Why don't you explain to us what these are? What is a libertarian anarcho-capitalist?
Well, it's where somebody is allowed to have the freedom of the state to whatever means necessary, and someone can just basically do whatever they want in a organized boundary where they're not allowed to let anybody in or anybody out without any sort of regulation.
Okay, what's the who's going to organize these boundaries?
The hierarchical society.
And how is that hierarchical society that is stateless now, how is that going to work?
Well, it's capitalist. It's one of the few things carried over from a capitalist society.
So the one thing that so what you imagine is that basically our leaders
this guy
be the richest people.
Unfortunately, this guy, he didn't really make a solid argument, just to say that, like, oh, I don't even really understood what he meant when he said what he said. Oh, people are not allowed to come in and out without government regulation. That, like, I'm not sure what he was really saying on that one. But if I were to,
I think in cases like these, the simpler the better. So if he said something like a voluntary society, it's very simple and you can extrapolate a lot from it. And then Sam Seder would be like, okay, what does a voluntary society look like? And from that point, you could keep building off of that premise.
Yep. And I hate to be this guy, right? Okay, so the reason why I don't like to use the word voluntary and generally is because there is no such thing as a voluntary society, because when people initiate aggressions, you have to involuntarily do something that is involuntary in order to aggress against them, or to retaliate against them, which is not an aggression. So what I would say is I want to live in a society without aggressions, where aggression is recognized and we put systems in place to avoid aggressions. And that's where we have property rights and blah, 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 and stuff like that.
I see what you're saying. So the distinction you're making there is that when it comes to the NAP, you would call an aggressive act in like an initiation of force, whereas self-defense would also be force, but it is a response to force.
It's a retaliation.
And that's where you make the distinction between voluntarism and aggression. I understand what you're saying. So like
aggression and retaliation, like that's why, like, if somebody comes up to you and says like, oh, you believe in a voluntary society, but what if I punch you in the face? I'm not volunteering to be aggressive, attacked. Well, what we're trying to say is we're against aggressions. So if somebody punches me in the face, I wouldn't be aggressing against you by punching you back. I would be retaliating against you. So there's like a difference between retaliation and aggression.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I think we should take the word voluntary, because I think that makes people who.
But I understand where you guys are coming from.
Yeah, I think that if we adopt the word voluntary, it makes other people look bad for having involuntary. You know what I mean?
Have it for optical reasons. No, but I understand where you guys are coming from. I understand where you, like, that's why I said I'm not trying to be that guy when I said this.
Yeah. You're providing some much needed context.
Yes. So I was just telling you what to say if somebody throws that at you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm.
In the country, and they will organize things for us.
That's what capitalism is. It's anarchy, wherein people are allowed to buy whatever they want at whatever asking price they are asking for. It's basically a haggling system, as you can have in, say, the diasporas or the cities in Israel. When I went there, it was you would say, I want
in the shuk. In the shuk.
Yes, like that. The markets, the bazaars. When you would go there, you could ask, they would ask 500 shekels for a soccer jersey, and you could say, well, I want to pay 350, and you could start haggling from there. You could say, well, you could say 475 for like 450.
No, I understand. I understand how haggling works. Now, so wait a second. So in the society you imagine, Max, what if the richest person, right? Let's say, because as we transition into your version of the society, right? Like the capitalists who have all the money, they're going to be the ones who organize everything, correct? As you said, they're going to be the organizers because this is the hierarchical society that you're talking about. What if they say like, hey, guys, I have $1 billion. Guess what? I just bought the shuk. And all you little guys, bye-bye. And now Max goes in to bargain with this one owner, and he says, I want that soccer jersey. And the guy says, 500 shekels. And Max says, I want to pay 300 shekels. And the guy says, all right, goodbye. Good luck buying it somewhere else, because we've cornered the whole thing.
All right. So what I would say, I don't know what this guy's response is to this, but I'm going to assume it's probably not going to be a very good one. I don't know so far. I hate to shit on this guy, but what I would say to this is, what my argument to him would be, okay, so what you're saying is it would be wrong to withhold the scarce resource from another person if they're going to die, or if something bad is going to happen, or if you see some outcome that you don't like. If they say yes, then the question after that is, okay, well, let's say that somebody has a disease and they're going to die if they don't punch you in the face or rape you in the ass or do some derogatory thing to you. Would that and make it okay for that person to do that thing to you? And if they say no, well, it's just like, okay, well, then what you're saying is that you have the right to exclude other people from the scarce resource, which is your body, from other people, no matter what, even if the person is going to die or something as bad is going to happen to them. So that should also apply to external resources as well, because because our body is a scarce resource. This necklace is a scarce resource. Everything is, well, not everything, but all the physical material things in our world is a scarce resource. So because of that, we must assign property rights to that thing. So for you to say, oh, well, you have to give me that thing, you could apply that to your body too. So you could be like, okay, well, if I need your body, well, therefore I should be allowed to take your body without your consent. Also, another argument that I would make is that you are not owed another person's resources. If another person doesn't want to give you something and they give you what you consider to maybe be an outrageous price, well, that doesn't matter, because in the end of the day, that's their thing. And if they don't want to give it up, they don't have to give it to you. Because again, I could then circle back to the other argument that I made earlier, which was like the body disease thing.
Yes. And I think the big thing here is, when people make these arguments about like warlords coming in, or like somebody buying off the entire market, I don't think they're engaging in reality. I think they don't understand how like humans work. Mm-hmm. When I say this, when I think of an example like this, I immediately go to Praxeology. I immediately think, okay, we have to start with the basics. Man acts, and man acts purposefully, as Zulu would say. Man acts purposefully. And how does man act? Man acts in his interests. He will do the things that he desires. And man also seeks profit, because profit generally helps him achieve his desires. And so if we get into a situation like this, we would have to go through many, many layers that Sam would have to actually get through in order to make a rational argument from this point of view. Mm-hmm. The first one would be, why would somebody buy an entire market and then create a monopoly? This is unprofitable. This is immediately unprofitable, because what happens is this man just paid $1 billion to the entire market, and now they have this money. And when he says, okay, this is my entire market, and now I'm going to raise the prices. I'm going to, what is it called? Price gouging or whatever. I'm going to raise the prices, and you have to buy them all. Well, guess what? You just bought $1 billion. You just paid people $1 billion. And now they have this money to go and create a new establishment. And guess what? You're fucked. You lost $1 billion, and now you have a market that nobody's going to buy from. So it's like that money went somewhere, and people are going to use that money. But it's like, they think that like billionaires are like stupid people. They're not stupid people. That's the reason they have so much money. They're going to do with their money that makes profitable sense. And when you betray people's trust, when you harm people, this is going to be reported. This is going to be seen all across the news and decentralized medias like YouTube. People are going to see this. It's going to hit their stocks. It's going to hit their consumer bases. Investors are going to pull out. There's a ridiculous amount of variables included that these people just don't understand because they ignore praxeology.
And to add on to that point, it's a little bit contradictory for some people who are liberals to say that they're so afraid of monopolies and they're so against monopolies, but at the same time they support a state, which in itself is a monopoly. So it's a little bit contradictory to say, oh, I don't like this. I don't like monopolies, but we need a monopoly to stop monopolies. It's like saying we need, it's like we need to kill people. We need to murder
a mafia
people
to stop the mafias.
Or like in the end of the day, the government is the one that creates all of these monopolies that pop up. And the reason why is because when you are a business, it's pretty much almost impossible for you to fully corner a market. And the reason why that is because there's always alternatives to other things. Even if you were to use up one, like all the bananas in the world, or something like that. What would end up happening is if you decide to just raise the price of bananas, people aren't just going to be like, you know what, I guess I just got to pay more for bananas. What they're going to do is they'll move to strawberries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they'll just stop paying for bananas. And when you raise the price of goods or services, less people buy that thing. So overall, over time, you start to lose money. And that's why companies sort of fight with each other to give the lowest price, and so they could compete with each other, and they compete with each other in that way because people generally aren't always they're not always going to be dedicated to one brand all the time. If they see another brand that is also cheaper, that is the same price, or that's the same good at same quality, well, then they'll move to that one, or if they see that the price of something is too high on which they feel it's unreasonable, well, then they're not going to buy it. So either way, that company is going to lose. And the reason why the government can sort of get away and maintain their monopoly is because they have an automatic customer, the taxpayer. The taxpayer is basically forced to pay in the system. You have no choice but to pay in the system. So there is no alternative in which you could turn to. Whereas a company, if they raise the price of their good and there's no intellectual property and there's no government regulation to stop them from recreating the good or also creating an alternative, well, then they're fucked.
Absolutely. And can you imagine if like Amazon forced people to pay into their system? People would lose their fucking minds, dude. If a company forced people to pay into their system, they would say, this is ridiculous. This is absurd. This is like, we need to like have a revolution. But like when it comes to a very certain part of the market, they just forget all that.
Yeah, so people get all so upset. Like if let's say if like we nationalize Amazon or whatever, and we started to have to pay for Amazon through taxes, people would get upset. But it's just like, wait a minute, what about the USPS? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's it's a monopoly. It's literally illegal for you to compete with it. You can't even you could compete with it, but there are certain restrictions that these companies have that the USPS doesn't have. Like, for instance, the USPS is allowed to use your mailbox, whereas any other company, they're not allowed to use your mailbox. There's a bunch of other restrictions too. It's ridiculous that they don't have to deal with.
It's funny that you bring up the USPS because those guys are one of the what I would say is one of the few examples where we have a exact apples to apples comparison of government funded industry versus private funded industry. And what I mean by this is we have the USPS, who you will get your mail lost and you'll get it 4 months, 5 months later, compared to Amazon delivery trucks, which will have your stuff in 2 days. It'll have your stuff delivered to you in 2 days. And then you have UPS, you have FedEx, you have a few others, and they are like infinitely better at delivering packages. And I don't know how much mail they deliver. Exactly, despite the hurdles. And they're infinitely better than USPS. And USPS has a billion different advantages. It's funded by the government. It has mailboxes in people's front yards. Like
I said, they have an automatic customer.
They have an automatic customer.
And
it's one of those comparisons where you can directly see that private industry is far, far more superior. And they don't even, I don't think, if you have like Amazon Prime or something, you don't even pay for shipping costs. Like it's part of the membership subscription. But like it's basically free. Like that hyper fast shipping is basically free. So it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's extremely cheap. You pay maybe like $15 a month for Amazon Prime, and you could get it for free. And you could get it next day. Once Amazon started doing next day shipping, USPS saw what they were doing, and then they had to mimic what they were doing. The private market is the leader. They lead the way for the government, because they wouldn't come up with these ideas because they're not incentivized to.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, maybe I could just buy it somewhere else. It's not.
No, Max. I just said they've bought it all up. They've bought out every other little stall that's there. Those little tiny stalls, they couldn't compete with this billionaire. So where do you get the shirt now, Max?
You buy it anywhere else, I guess.
Well, I just told you there's no other stores. He's got a monopoly.
Okay, just to be clear, they have the money now. Like they were paid $1 billion. They're going to go create a new market. That's just what would happen.
It's disappointing because he doesn't really have a good answer, but we've already went over all the good answers. But like, again, all I can really say is that even if that was the case, you are not owed another person's resources. So, just tough luck. That's all you can really say.
Exactly.
And for some people that may look at me like I'm an asshole for saying that, every system says tough luck at some point. You know what I mean? The government can't resolve every single issue. So if you decide to climb a mountain barefoot and the government doesn't have the resources to fly the helicopter to bring it to you, well, then what are you going to do? Tough luck. So every system has that. So it just really depends on the degree and how you solve it. Whether
that is such an understated point that you made, because it's like, I've tried to find countless videos of people explaining communism, and they never get to the points of like how they create jobs, how the government works, how they decide on things. They never get that far, and they never get as far as to say, oh shit, I lost my train of thought. They never get to the point where they say, tough luck, you're a janitor, or tough luck, you're in the sewage system, and it's like some people get to be models because, I don't know, people voted for it, or like it's a luck of the draw, and some people get to be janitors. It's like, that's tough luck, they also have to say tough luck. So you said
like,
before,
what are you gonna do?
All systems.
What are you gonna do? Yeah, like, what are you gonna do if somebody sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but what are you gonna do if somebody like is lazy, doesn't want to work, and is being a nuisance to society, and is doing things in which society doesn't want? What are you going to do? Should they just sit back and deal with it? Oh, we're going to throw them in prison. Well, what you're telling that person is tough luck. They're not, you know what I mean? Like, every system has tough luck, so it's just,
yep. Even the communists can't say that people won't have to work. Like, the communists believe that everyone has to work, and they will force them to work.
Yeah. The government can't be
to work
everywhere at once. Government can't be everywhere at once. If you call the police, they could only show up at the time that they can get there, So if they don't show up there before, then what are you supposed to do? Oh, well, then tough luck. That's all you could say.
Yep.
And they're kind of laughing at him.
Yeah, they're ridiculous.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
But I understand why they're laughing at him.
What do you do?
Because he doesn't really have an answer. So I don't blame them.
No, it's cool. He's still gotta figure it out.
I'm just listening to the people in the background. What's up?
Well, those guys.
You have a wonderful day, bro, and I'll see you again soon.
No, forgive Michael, please. He is rude.
I got something in my eye. It has nothing to do with this. I'm not listening, believe me.
Max, I'm asking you, what do you do now?
Well, I could either revolt, I could shut down his market, I could try.
How are you going to shut down his market? He's got $1 billion. You got what? $150? You got the 300 shekels?
Throw it. That's the beauty of an anarchistic society. I could throw it over.
Stop using our word that's not your word.
Throw it over? What do you mean by that?
How would you throw over?
I think he's trying to say overthrow.
Okay, got you. Yeah.
But like, dude, he just needs to say, okay, the $1 billion has been voluntarily passed to the people who owns the market, and now this person owns all these assets, and they can do nothing with them unless people buy from them. And with the $1 billion that they have, they can just go create an entirely new market. It's crazy.
Yeah, most people aren't just going to sit on a bunch of wealth and do nothing with it.
No,
even Bill Gates, that guy doesn't. He has billions and billions of dollars, and what he does is he pretty much gives a lot of his money away to other people because he's like, what am I supposed to do with this shit? So You know, I mean, when he dies, he said he's going to give away 90% of his money because it's like, what am I going to do with it? So, in the end of the day, these but the fundamental answer again is that you're not owed another person's resources, so therefore they shouldn't have to give it to you.
Yeah.
Over
that. Oh my. What do you mean? Oh my God. Anarchistic is not like. You're saying hold on. You're claiming anarchy as a word.
No. All right, listen, don't get distracted by that. Don't get distracted.
No. You can't just claim a word like that. This isn't.
Is it wrong for me to laugh at
You're
him?
right. She cannot. I agree.
This is a trash fire.
Now let's get back to the scenario we were talking about. Let's say, like, how would you overthrow, let's say, Bloomberg News?
Just assassinate the guy.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Oh my God!
What you're saying now.
It's not an ANCAP.
This is going to lead in your anarcho-capitalist.
That violates the non-aggression principle, bro.
Yeah, what's wrong with this dude?
What?
You assassinate the guy.
Jeez. Ay.
Is he trolling Sam? I can't even tell.
I hope he's
the way it's going to work is monopolies and then assassinations.
Yeah.
All right. Cool world, man. Do we get jetpacks?
No.
I didn't think so.
No.
All right, buddy. I appreciate the call.
What do you mean no?
We don't even get jetpacks.
What do you mean no?
Bro,
you
he's
get a
so
jetpack
sad.
in Ancapistan.
He's so fucking sad, dude.
Oh my God, that's
we don't even get the great technology. We get
maybe we should
no
call
markets.
the Sam Seder show, bro.
Yeah, we should.
Oh,
I don't
man,
know.
that's disappointing.
This was 4 years ago. Okay, I'm surprised. I have videos that are like 10 years old.
Is that it, or is there
No,
more?
no. There's more.
Such appropriation. It's really triggering for me. All right, remember, folks, and caps or whatever you want to call yourselves. It's a culture, not a costume.
This is not beanbag.
Anarchists oppose hierarchy. The more you know.
Stop it. Knock it off.
I mean, I listen.
By the way, no, to be fair, can I just say, most legit answer to that question I've ever heard.
Right.
I mean, everybody else is just like, I asked them, they want to meet. We could have a free exchange of ideas. Assassinate them. Okay.
I will say,
not what
Jesus
I want,
Christ.
but that was by far.
Yeah, they're so stupid.
Yeah, you know what? But it's the reason why they are making fun of him is because he kind of did like give a really bad answer. So you can't. Do we get jetpacks? No. I love that comment right there.
That's amazing.
What do you mean you don't get jetpacks? There should be jetpacks in Ancapistan, man. As long as you're not hurting nobody.
Dude, I fucking love comments. That's like 50% of why YouTube's so great.
I love these libertarian callers. Well, you know what? This is sad. These people don't really represent our ideology very well, it seems.
They absolutely don't. And it's like, if you're going to call in, like, you have to have an understanding, like just a basic understanding.